best boxing podcast in the world.
Call the cops on me. On a mission to be champs since they let me free. Prepare for combat, my adversaries crumble. Face it, I got a reputation for damage. Busters get ready to rumble. They lock me in a cell. Have me trapped in a living hell. Though not guilty, I'm still in jail. Brother, I serve my time like a soldier. Maintain composure. My shadow boxing the fight to the death. Busting boulders. Every boxer with a pair of gloves. Best give up love. Here's a man from the makings of a thug. A lethal weapon, mind sharp. And in my heart, there's a wish to shake the world with the flurry of my black fist. Now once a high school dropout. Now I'm the $1 million champ. Who's the next to get knocked out? Straight out of Brooklyn and worldwide.
What's going on, everybody? Another episode of Chief CSBS Show. Angelo here with my boy JP. Yeah, you heard me right. With my boy JP. JP, what's up, man?
You thought I was gone. How y'all doing, man? The old man is back.
He's still feeling it, man. First things first, follow us on Twitter at Chief CSBS, iTunes, rate, review. You'll be next unofficial sponsor. You know how we do. Subscribe on the YouTube page, please. And just keep on retweeting and liking the show on Twitter and everything like that. And welcome to all the listeners. Email us, ChiefSeatsBoxing, Gmail, on my spiel. You know how that goes. But welcome all the listeners. JP, I kind of said my piece a little bit if you guys haven't listened. I said my piece on Parker and Joshua. I'll kind of hit a little bit of that, what I said again. But what'd you think, man? We know the fight was boring, but between the boring, what did you see, man?
Parker was just scared to trade. At the end of the day, he didn't want to get hit. And even when Joshua was swinging for air, Parker didn't want to be nowhere in the vicinity. Like, you can't win if you're not willing to get, old saying you got to give some ass to get some ass. He was not willing to give shit, and he looked like the lesser fighter just in technique. So I think he got mentally beat before the fight. That's what I think, because his movements were not of a fighter that really went out there to win. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Yeah, and what I was saying, too, was just the whole performance in general is something that I think was eye-opening for some people, especially I thought Wilder's people would probably watch that fight and go, damn, that's not what I want to see. Because I said it was very Klitschko-esque, very Lennox Lewis-esque, protecting the chin, being very methodical, taking away your big punch, kind of limiting everything in the fight. Where, yeah, it's boring, but effective. It's Tyson Fury. It was, Floyd after the first Castillo fight. Everything kind of changed where it was, minimize what damage can come to me, and I will just pick up on my opportunities. And yes, it's boring, but it's kind of that style. Like, that's a worse style for Wilder than Joshua just fighting. His Klitschko fight, that's perfect for Wilder. He's going to leave himself open. Wilder can counter, knock his ass out. He still can do that, but now he's going to set shit up, which is not his thing. He doesn't set up a lot of shit. But I just thought that was what I got from it, where everybody else was crushing it because it was boring, yes, but if you look deeper into it, like, it's a very smart, wise way. He doesn't, because of the lack of punching, he's not getting tired now. And so he's managing his stamina and everything else. It's a smarter way of fighting, more boring, but this is the evolution of fighters a lot of times.
Yeah, and he's going to have to get used to that. Because even when Wilder beat Ortiz, if you was watching as far as skills concerned, Ortiz was giving him the business with the skills. So that's always been a shtick. Like, he's not a boxer whatsoever, but he is a nuclear puncher. So if he hits you, it's going to be a problem. Mm-hmm. Basically, a bigger, better skilled version of Randall Bailey. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he might, but Randall Bailey just didn't throw punches. Like, he just waited all day to hit you with one. But, but Wilder throw more punches, but when he hits you, he hits you. But this is, the boxing part of it, yeah, man, he's going to have a problem with that. But I don't think he's going to try to be anywhere in that mid-range to inside game. Because even though they're both big guys, I think Wilder likes the length. Even though he can't necessarily fight inside because he's too lanky, but he can fight mid. His inside game is really a mid-range game, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, and I think you'll actually see Wilder kind of use that same kind of game plan against Joshua that Joshua did against Klitschko, where I'm just gonna sit back. Okay, I'm coming at you, and Joshua's whole thing will have to be fighting off the wave. He's gonna come at him in waves. There will probably be 3 to 4 waves throughout that fight, and if he gets through those waves, to me, Joshua wins that fight. If he doesn't, which is a 50-50 proposition, then Wilder knocks his ass out. But really, there's not much more to say than that. Good luck, Parker, trying to get another title shot anytime soon, because that performance, when you're saying stayed out of range, he stayed out of his own range. There's a difference between staying out of range, your opponent's range, but when you stay out of your own range, you're basically saying, I do not want to engage. I don't want to fight. If I get a chance to hit you, maybe I'll take it, but I'm really not going to put myself out there. He did here and there. It was spotty at best. But it is what it is. Hey, this weekend, Showtime, I don't know if it's a triple hit. I don't know how many fucking fights are on there.
It's a header.
Yeah, whatever it is. But Jarrett Hurd and Erislandy Lara in unification fight at 154. JP, what do you think about this? I think it's an interesting fight. This one kind of, to me, is a little similar to I was talking about with Wilder and Joshua. I can only see Hurd winning this one way, where I can see Lara winning this a multitude of ways. But that one way for Hurd is the equalizer.
he got a blitzkrieg him.
Yeah.
Like, what Hurd is going to have to do is what Angulo did without the slow start. And he has the ability to do it because he has like the power and aggression, and he has time on his side. Because that's the one thing. It's not a Lara thing, but it was like that Cuban crop. They just didn't fight often. So their layoff is always. And the weird part about Lara is, no matter how long he lays off, he always kind of looks sharp when he gets in the ring. But he's not as aggressive as a puncher when he gets in the ring because of it. So I think Hurd, he's going to have to just go, put his foot on the gas. But as far as skill level, he's nowhere in the ballpark of the skills of Erislandy Lara. Nowhere in the ballpark. So he can get mixed up plenty of ways. Just like you said, Lara could just do so many different things. And if Lara forces Hurd to be a boxer, it's over. And that's really the key, because Hurd is not really a boxer either. He can hold his own for a second or two, but no. Hurd's going to have to make Lara not necessarily a boxer, but a fighter, but he's going to have to make him rely on a counterpunch attack, which he can actually do. So this shit is going to get interesting. Very interesting.
I really want to pick Lara in this fight. But here's the reason I won't. Because in the last calendar year, it has been a terrible year for Cuban boxers, for anybody with Cuban heritage almost. You can start with Willie Monroe, who is of Cuban heritage, right? Mm-hmm. He had a terrible showing against Billy Joe Saunders. We've seen the progressive downfall of Gamboa. We saw the quitting of Rigo. We saw the destruction of Sullivan Barrera. We saw Luis Ortiz take the L, get knocked out by Wilder. It has not been a good year for Cuban boxing at any level. So is he going to right the ship or not? I'm just going to say, you know what? Even though I wanted to pick him, I got to go with Jarrett Hurd. He's going to stop him, man. He's going to get to him. He's going to drop him a few times, and he's going to win a very close, probably split decision, because he's tough. Like, Lara got banged on hard by Angulo and got back up and then cracked his eye. He can punch when he wants to. So I think he's tough enough to make it through. Maybe not. Who knows? Maybe that's just part of the Cuban thing, is going to get worse and worse. But I'm gonna say Hurd's gonna take it, man. But I think it's only because the Cuban downfall is almost complete, man.
I'm gonna give it to Lara just to be contrary. Yeah, he got to bring it home for the squad one good time. You know, he's got to be the anchor leg that just brings him in the medal contention. This is the first place is already over, but hey, get him from sixth to third. Do your best. You know, but this is gonna be interesting because, you know, ultimately he's on the cusp of this youth takeover.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just like shit.
And the truth is, it'd be better for the whole division and just because he fights a funner style to watch. You like that? You like the proper grammar, funner style?
Hey man, this is America. That's how we talk.
That's right. He just in a more entertaining style than Lara does. It's better. It's going to be a better stylistic matchup. See him against Jermell Charlo, because Jermell Charlo versus Lara, they are so familiar with each other. If they did fight, it would be a very, very boring, methodical fight. It really would. The undercard was Gilmore and J-Rock. Gilmore coming off the win against Justin Deloach last year, and J-Rock still on the comeback road from the Jermell Charlo loss, who I don't think he's looked as good since. He's had moments. The Austin Trout fight, right? Yeah, it was okay. Was Austin Trout? Am I off one?
I don't think so.
I feel like I'm right, but
I don't think so.
But he's been okay. It hasn't been as impressive. Maybe, like I said, I think I said last time after his fight was like, maybe this is just who he is. Maybe he wasn't all that we thought he was. So I think him and Gilmore is going to be a really good matchup. I think it actually be probably the most entertaining fight of them all.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the Truax DeGale fight is going to be that entertaining. So I'll say J-Rock gets this fight, but I want to see more from him. I want to see pre-Charlo J-Rock. I want to see that guy again. I haven't seen him since the loss.
I think he's fighting for his confidence right now. And that's just because of where he's from, it's possible because that's in that boxing culture heritage. But you got to see it to believe it first, you know. So, because at this point, I would say opponent might think he's still vulnerable. So he's really got to be the aggressor in this. He's really got to be the one that just, you know, put his cards on the table, lay it out on the line and say, look, yeah, that happened then, but that wasn't, today ain't then. So if he does that, he'll win. But he win impressively is what he needs to get back to doing.
Yeah. He needs to make himself a player back again at 154. Because we need to see new matchups there. I would love to see him try to get some revenge against Jermell by fighting Jermell. You know, he was talking trash about both of the brothers, so you know it would be a good build up. Hopefully, the exiting of Lara on this fight against Hurd. So, I think it could open up division, but we need to see that. We need to see, like I said, pre-Charlo, J-Rock, and that's what I hope I see. I hope it's an emphatic knockout, and I hope it's an impressive win. He just hasn't been that guy since. Like you said, is he fighting for his confidence? It kind of looks that way.
I mean, he has a perfect opportunity because if he shows up and impresses and wows the crowd, that's really an immediate fight with the winner of Hurd and Lara. That's like a built-in fight. All you got to do is go there and handle your business impressively, and guess what happens? Yeah, well, J-Rock kind of looking kind of nice. Like, you know, what y'all want to do with him? Like, you know, that you got to do it. This is one of those do or die moments. You got to do it.
And then finally, Caleb Truax defending his title he just won from James DeGale against James DeGale in the rematch. It's not an exciting fight. It was the first fight was okay. It wasn't. I remember watching and going, yeah, you know, like it kind of is. It kind of was just a James DeGale fight where you just underwhelmed, and I think at their best, DeGale is a much better fighter than Caleb Truax, but the edge had been taken off of James DeGale. He peaked at the Durrell fight. I think that's when he peaked. He looked amazing, like those first 6 rounds, kind of tapered off for like 3 or 4 rounds and then found it at the end again. And he really hasn't been as good since. I think he's still trying to find that magic again. And once you lose it, it's hard to get it back, man. Truax is now, I mean, he's on U.S. soil this time. He got the decision over there last time. I think he's just going to defend the title. I don't think it's going to be much of in as far as action goes. But Truax is a great story, good dude. You like to see good guys like that who actually work their ass, because he does. He works his ass off. He gets everything out of his ability, which isn't that high. And for him to beat a guy who was highly thought of at one time at 168, it's a testament to him and his efforts and his and how hard he works. I'm pulling for him, and I think Truax will pull off another close decision.
I like him, but if it's what I think it is, he's about to get stumped. I had an interview with him. I said with him. Is Porky? That's the nickname, right? Porky.
Porky Medina?
No. What is
Chunky.
Chunk? Thank you. I had an interview with Chunky. See, the nickname cracks me up.
But remember when Porky did fight Chunky?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. So I had this interview with Chunky, and he was talking about how he, for a while, he was fighting injured. So it's like, he feels like he's healthy. So I'm like, okay, so back with health, with his health came confidence. So I'm like, okay, well, you couldn't fight your way through it completely with all these guys because you felt like you wasn't 100%. Now you feel like you're 100% or close to it. So you back to handle business. So cool. I'll take your word on that. Even though usually that's an excuse set up for when you get your ass kicked and you say, well, technically I still ain't really, But the way he was, he seemed like a happier person. And, to me, happier fighters are dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, when it goes with rematches, normally I'm like, yo, if you got you once, I don't think you're going to get them the same way the second time. So I'm still trying to stick to my little thing with that. But I think you're going to get stumped.
Well, and if you look at it from that perspective, if there's going to be one of those two fighters who's going to be able to make the adjustments, you think would more likely be Chunky. See, I was already thinking. I swear to God, I was already going for it. You think it's going to be DeGale more than it's going to be Truax. And Truax, I mean, if it worked once, he'll throw some wrinkles into it, but it's pretty much going to be the same game plan. Outwork him. And yeah, it should be. Now the I'm healthy again thing. I guess where Joseph Parker said the same thing before that Joshua fight. I'm back to 100%. I've been fighting injured. Well, I hope it's more. I hope it's more Andre Ward when he got his shoulder fixed than it is Joseph Parker when it comes to James DeGale. So a truly legit opposing picks, huh?
Yeah.
Which leads us to, I think it's a little bit of a story. This
Which one you want to go for?
We'll end on Wilder. We'll start with Canelo. We're drawing, and you could just almost see this shit coming. I mean, it was like there was no way out at this point for Canelo. He withdraws from the fight May 5th. Whoever, it's probably going to be Spike O'Sullivan. I thought it should have been Derevyanchenko. He said he wanted to fight, and it got a mandatory out of the way. I thought it would have been a perfect opportunity for Triple G to get a mandatory from the IBF out of the way because good luck going 2 years without any mandatories from any of the belts and trying to hold on to all three of them. Especially now, the WBC will absolutely strip him at first possibility because he hasn't been very nice to Canelo. But Canelo pulls out of their fight. He was not going to get around the suspension. Now it's basically a question: is it going to be 6 months or is it going to be a year? Probably going to be 6 months, but it could be a year. But if it's a year, that's Nevada. That's not necessarily anywhere else. They could go.
True.
They could go to other places. Trust me. You think Texas wouldn't take their asses? They could be fighting at Cowboy Stadium come September.
We just won't say this publicly. We know who's not supposed to be reffing that fight. Okay, that's all I'm saying. They put one particular referee. His ass is off the list. Scratch his ass off the list.
Dickie's son's not going to be able to referee if they come to Texas.
Scratch his ass off the list.
Oh man,
Sorry.
So what do you think about the pullout, man?
Man, I think he's got Canelo in the last 3 years has got a clusterfuck of things that are irreversible, you know. And for a fight hypocrite like myself, on one end, you like, you know, you can't be the face of boxing with all of this shit. On the other end, if you've been riding with Canelo this long, don't try to turn your damn back now, because there was a lot of bullshit that happened before this. You know, we've all got fighters that we like that have bullshit in their bag. He's just, like, he's a predicate felon. Like, that's what his problem is at this particular point. It's like, man, and you don't know whether to blame Canelo, you don't know whether to blame Oscar. This one you got to blame Canelo. Mm-hmm. Like, this ain't no getting around that. This is Canelo. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, like, what are you really? You really screwing up this bad? Like, this bad? And I hate to say it, but though the man has accomplished a lot of good things in boxing, he's really sabotaged himself with all of the moves that he's made in the process. You know? So was it now, to be perfectly honest, I think this scandal puts him in this is the positive about that. Since he said he'll fight and he likes to fight and he'll fight anybody, he gonna have to fight everybody to get his place of the face of boxing back. There is no taking a break. There is no, you know, making these weight differences. No, because it really diminished your whole A side. You just lost a main event. Forget your name at this particular point, because they're gonna say you're not reliable. You know, it is what it is. I mean, you fucked up. I mean, I'm not gonna put you in the class of junior. I can't put you in the class of junior in Broner, but you getting there. Like, you like knocking on the door, you know. But you ain't there yet. But I think now you're gonna have to fight Charlo, Jacobs, Saunders, because Triple G is not feeling you right now. And I think all Triple G wanted was the crown to be at least a pay-per-view face. And that's what you just gave him inadvertently. So, bro, you're going to have to... Everybody that Oscar wanted to, you know, maneuver you with, you're going to have to get it now. You're going to really have to get it.
And the last show we did together, we were talking about it. We'd be totally shocked if they canceled the fight. Well, look, the fight has been canceled. All right. I'd be even more shocked if it was a year. But it's not out of the realm of possibility anymore. Now anything is possible. Whatever they say is possible now. And if they do suspend him for a year, it would be a year in March, right? So next March, which would be basically 18 months off, because he hadn't fought since September. He's going to have to take an interim fight somewhere else, even Mexico. He'd still sell a fucking stadium out in Mexico.
Hell yeah.
Eat all the fucking tainted meat he wants. He can just go on a fucking tainted meat eating tour. It doesn't matter. He's going to have to do something to keep himself right and keep himself sharp. The 6-month thing, I guess he could take a year off. He's still so young. But the 18 months is way too much. Like I said, if it's a year, man, those fools would be stupid not to come to Texas, fill up about 100,000 in Cowboy Stadium, and go for it. There's really no other way. I mean, you'd figure, like, even New York might say, nah, we're gonna follow Nevada's ruling, where Texas is like, man, fuck Nevada. You know how it is here.
You know what's happening? Does this look like Nevada to you? No. What? So what? What they gonna do? Like, I can see it. But I just said, don't have that ref. This is gonna be, this period, if he has the right mindset, can really make a man out of him. Because there is no getting around the fact you're gonna have to scratch and claw your way back to where you wanna be. And if you can do that, you're going to get everybody back and then some. Because what do we like the most in America? A comeback story, right? And you done fucked up enough to make it to fall off, so you done did that. So if you make a comeback, cool, you know. But this is gonna be a warning to Oscar. Stop, dog. Stop. Because to me, the way they've been managing Canelo, that's part of the problem too. Like if the guy says he wants to fight everybody and he can beat everybody, let him fight everybody and let him beat everybody. It kills all the bullshit. Because this wouldn't have been a issue. It's all this, go up and weight, go down and weight, go left, go right, do this, do that. You kept giving him easy outs. Don't do that to him. Don't do that to him because you crippled him. But
now I've made comments on Twitter. I made them even on these shows. I think I even talked about it. Yeah, I think I talked about the last show we did together where I was talking about the transformation to Saul Money Alvarez, and the fan base has turned exactly like that on Twitter. I mean, motherfuckers are even the fact that he failed the test and he pulled out of the fight now, realizing I ain't gonna get away with it. You still have the people defending him. Ain't his fault. Literally, it ain't his fault. It's like I harkened it back to the IV thing. Well, he was dehydrated. The guy who walks around at 150 had to get an IV for the 3 pounds that he had to lose for that fight, for that weigh-in. I mean, if you falling for that bullshit, then you're on that bullshit. That's just the way it is. And these fans have taken the mantle. They've ran. It's like the guys who went from Michael Jordan to Kobe Bryant to LeBron James to
Steph?
Yeah, to Steph. The motherfuckers just switch jerseys every few years. They just buy the brand new jersey,
Let's see if they wear Giannis in a couple years. You only gonna say Giannis. You ain't getting to the last name, fam.
But that's what it's like. These boxing fans have kind of done that. They've jumped from Jones to Mayweather, and now they seem like they're jumping on the Canelo bandwagon. It's like they're defending all the bullshit, man. They defend the IV. They defend the clenbuterol. Hell, they even defend Roy's failed test back in the day. Well, they wasn't really looking for steroids back then, so it's different. It's like it's always something. It's like, hey, man, your boys got caught. That's all.
Like I said, I'm a boxing fan / hypocrite. That's the thing. Like, we've talked about this plenty of times. If you like them, you're gonna do what?
Get a pass.
So what? He didn't mean to throw that puppy to the sharks. It just slipped. Like, okay, like this is his past. Only problem is the history leading up to it. Like if you want to defend him, cool, but no matter how you slice it, this stretch is always going to put a mark on his career. And I hate like when you think about boxers who have marks against their career, sometimes that mark overshadows the things they did before that mark and after that mark. And this is what we're about to see. Because if Canelo comes back and somebody mixes him up, beats him, then all of a sudden he's finished. He's washed, blah, blah, blah. He was only good because he was on drugs. If he wins, he's going to get the same love-hate as Kong. He got caught. This ain't nothing. He got caught. Ain't nothing. He got caught. Ain't nothing. But, all right, dog, like, what we going to do? But now it's like, what do you, as fans, can we all just sit at the table and admit that, we've been eating bullshit. That's why we full of shit. Like, we're at the table of bullshit. Like, because we've let a lot of shit slide. We haven't called a lot of things out because we like people. And we've went over the top with other people because we don't like them. So let's just try to call a spade a spade. Yeah, he ate tainted meat. I don't know how tainted meat and what is it? What you call it? And needle punctures. I don't know how that part goes together. Now that's the, like, really? Come on. But do you care? No. Did you care when he was doing 155? No. Did you care when they said, you know, he was fighting older champions to build his legacy? No. You know, did you care when he was like, how can I say it? Well, his management was maneuvering him in position to fight. Like the Khan fight? No, you didn't care. Like, so to be Johnny Cochran now, this time the computer all fits. So, you know, what we going to do?
So he had to quit?
Yeah.
Speaking of all that bullshit, we're going to finish it up. No, you know what? It depends on what time we got left here. I'm going to see. Because we are on a strict timeline. Well, I am.
Let's give him a good 5 and be on.
No, I'm good for now. I'm just saying, like, I want to try to do a spontaneous top 5 list, but we'll see for the time.
Okay.
On that bullshit, Deontay Wilder. You said for the second time, because I don't watch the post fights and everything. Says, I want a body on. I want to kill somebody in the ring. I want a body on my record. There's outrage. There's people who care. There's people who don't care. I think, but we can all agree on one thing. It's a stupid fucking comment. It's just dumb. It's just, you just don't say dumb shit like that. Like, and the people who have come out and said, oh, when Mike Tyson said he was fighting, I forget who it was, he said he wanted to kill him. And when this guy was fighting, he said he wanted to decapitate him. It's like, you guys do realize that was actually in talking of an opponent for in a fight where it's kind of leading, you know, it's kind of building up, so trying to build up something. But when you literally have no opponent and you're like, yeah, I want to kill somebody, it comes off a little different. And I don't, if you can't see that it's a little bit different that way, then you're a Canelo fan.
And we talk about this. It's like everybody has that split personality and switch in contact sports. Everybody has that heartless switch. You leave that in, like if he's a boxer, you leave that in the ring. You don't bring that to the podium. You know, nobody's supposed. Shut the fuck up. Don't go around. Yeah, I want to kill him up. What? And that was the second time. For you people who didn't realize that was the second time, because the first time he said it had to be maybe less than a month ago. And I know y'all saw it on the Breakfast Club part, and then people popped their ears. This is the problem I have with people in their listening skills. If you're in the boxing community, you heard him say this about a month ago, for the most part. If you listen to interviews, you didn't. But I remember that because the reason he brought it up, because Charlemagne does some of the boxing stuff. So I know Charlemagne heard him say it. So this wanting a body stuff, I mean, in a slick way, you could say, okay, and this is trying to give him an out. So I'm going to give you an out, so you might want to use this because of the stupid shit you just did. You can say, look, man, if I say that, the ref's going to stop the fights even earlier when I go wild. Even though they already stopped the fights early when you go wild, when you're not connecting. But to just say, I want a body on my record, dog, here's my problem with that. You just had a fight with Ortiz. When all boxers say we put our lives on the line when we get in this ring, we could die. But you said you respected him as a man because he was trying to feed his family and feed his daughter. But the body part, I want to say happened before you got in the ring with Ortiz, and it was just an in general statement when you were saying it then. How the fuck you respect somebody when you publicly say eventually I'm gonna kill somebody? You don't respect them or their family. You don't care shit about human life. And like I said before, if that's your personality in the ring, which, by the way, he did say that's the first time he was like, that's the bronze bomber. The bronze bomber wants a body. So that's why they probably let the shit slide the first time.
And it was a lead up to a fight.
Right. He's like when the bronze bomber wants, but see, when he said it the second time, people going, no, motherfucker, you want a body on your record. So, okay. Is it an intimidation factor for some people? But you're going to mess around, and though I like you as a fighter, though I think you're entertaining, though you seem like a cool dude, you going to mess around and meet somebody just with your personality, and you know what they going to think? Before they even get around with you, I'm going to kill this motherfucker because he's trying to kill me. See, there was a certain amount of decency that fighters had. And that's part of the lack of aggression nowadays in fighting, because fighters could beat your ass to death, but they're really having this mercy amongst other fighters. That's why you're seeing a lot of these 12-round fights where they could get people out of there. They just don't, because, you know, how many fighters have died in the last couple of years? How many fighters have had brain damage in the last couple of years? So these guys are cognizant, man. I don't want to kill my fellow boxers. I don't want to destroy my fellow boxers, because this is what they do for a living. This is how they family. This is how they feed their families. But your fucking ass want to go out there and say, yeah, I'm going to kill a motherfucker.
Well, and what about this, too? The next Heyman guy, nobody wants it to happen, but if the next Heyman fighter that suffers some kind of brain damage, right? And then he's over there, well, we need to build money for him. Why, this is what you wanted. You wanted to do what this guy did. So you probably should just be paying the guy who put him in the coma or killed him or whatever. It comes off as inauthentic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'm probably sure Al Heyman probably called him with that. Well, you better not ever say no shit like that.
Well, especially what happened, how the business did his brother anyway. So you know he's down with that shit.
Yeah, like, dude, what the hell? One of the most aggressive athletes I could think of is Lawrence Taylor. You saw clips of Lawrence Taylor saying all kinds of shit on the field. But the minute they heard Joe Namath, what did Lawrence Taylor do?
Mm-hmm. He was over there, yeah.
Joe Namath, Joe Theismann.
No, Joe Theismann, I know, yeah. He was over there waving and out. Come on. When he broke his leg.
Yeah. So, that lets you know, even somebody who has a dog of a personality, even in the heat of battle, look, I am not, if it happens, God forbid, I'm not trying to do this. But your ass saying you doing it, man, look. Nah, dog. That's absolutely, that's unexcusable, man. Unexcusable.
Now, I do got time. In honor of Canelo, just to piss off Canelo fans a little bit more, we're going to have a quick top 5 list. You know what? I think we should just go like this. You say one, I'll say one. We can't use whoever I use, you can't use it, and vice versa. Instead of top 5, we'll go top 6. We'll just get the 6 best cheaters of all time in the sport of boxing. Ooh, and we'll do it into the recent past. Like the recent past, when I want to go back all the way back to the 20s and shit like that. But you want to start or you want me to start?
Damn! How about, okay, was it Povetkin?
Yeah, Alexander Povetkin.
To get caught cheating, blow a whole fight, come back, and try to kill him. Basically, try to kill him, motherfucker.
In tennis shoes, said that.
Man, so yeah.
I was going to go back about 30 years ago, 40 years ago. How long ago was that? God, I'm getting old now. So, Panama Lewis.
Yeah.
Loaded hand wraps. Nope, the one I mixed, the bottle I mixed. That guy would. I mean, well, hell, he got banished from the United States for the fucking shit.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the best cheaters of all time. He got caught, but what you got?
Fuck. Right now, I'm gonna give it with Kong. You got popped a couple of times, and then blood pressure medication. Motherfucker, really?
He did get it was blood pressure though.
Still. Blood pressure medication can still be a masking agent too. But you got popped twice, and people loved you still. So right now you on that list.
I'm gonna put Andrew Galata, one of the best cheaters of all time. Lord. Now everybody goes back to the Riddick Bowe fight where he kept on throwing nut punches, like the whole fight, like the inspiration for Andre Ward in that Kovalev fight. But I go back and I've made reference to this is deep fucking boxing nerd knowledge right here. Tuesday night fights. I don't know what year. I'm going to say around 93, 94. I'm going to say something like that. And he's fighting a guy named Samson Pua. He was a fat heavyweight in that line of heavyweights back in the day that was on Tuesday night fights. I think Freza Kenda was on there. Shannon Briggs used to come on there. All these guys. And that fight, that was the prelim to what we were going to see. And Samson Pua was putting it on his ass. Like really putting it on Galata's ass. And at that time, I think they're both undefeated. And it was probably around round 4. Everything changed. you saw them clinch, and then you see Pua push back real fast. Like, what the fuck? And then they go back and they show the replay, and he bit his ass on the neck through the mouth guard. Had a big ass hickey on his neck, and after that, Pua would like not get in close with them because at that point he had pulled it, like he had like sapped that aggression out of him. Like, what the fuck is this motherfucker willing to do? Literally bit him on the neck, had the hickey mark on him. Then of course we got the bow fight. How about taking the dive? Who did he take the dive against? Was it against Tyson? He took the dive, basically. I think it was Tyson. Great cheating, great cheater by Andrew Galata, one of my favorites.
I'm just gonna be fucked up because you brought up biting.
Yeah.
You know, everybody knows where this is going. Damn, Mike. You know, you threw all caution to the wind that night. You know, I understand Evander had it coming for the headbutts. That was like a double cheating, but I'm gonna take it all the way there event. You know, Evander took it there with the headbutts. Mike said, "Look, see, I told you. Bring your ear here." Then, you know, Evander Holyfield did the holy dance, the church dance, like, what the fuck? Then he started fighting. Then Mike really got... The crazy part about that, if people don't realize this, Mike almost knocked his ass out before he bit him. He was that mad, but then he said, fuck it, I'm biting him.
Yeah.
And then he bit him again. So, yeah, that was... Yeah.
You know what's missed after the bite, too, is that Holyfield went right back to the head. But he went right, come right at him with the head. Like, you motherfucker. Not only that, you know, and he got suspended after that, you know, and he went to wrestling. And then he cheated Stone Cold Steve Austin, man. He was with DX the whole time, man. He thought, you know, that's bullshit. Then he did the double, remember he did double cross? He was with DX. And then what happens? He ends up being with Stone Cold and fucking knocks out Shawn Michaels. See, man, this motherfucker's a cheater, man. It's just dirty pool, man.
Just don't, please, I'm never going to tell you it's me if I see you in public.
He's a different guy. He's a gentle soul now.
Yeah, man, he's cool as shit. But I still wouldn't tell him.
Hell no. Hell no. All right, my last cheater. Some of the best cheating in the last, 30 years or so. Let's see. I'm gonna go with Shane Mosley.
I was thinking about that.
I'm going to go with Shane Mosley. And the simple fact, right, his 2 career-defining wins, he admits, yeah, I was on that Balco shit. I was on that Barry Bonds shit. And yet, people still go back to those fights. Like, those 2 fights against De La Hoya, man, I tell you what, that really defined his career. Like, you do realize that you're defining his career on 2 fights he was cheating in. The whole reason, well, some of the reason that this whole testing thing started was, you know, Floyd talking shit about Manny because he thought Manny was dirty. Didn't have any proof, but he's like, well, I'm getting ready to fight Shane. That motherfucker's already said he's been dirty, so I'm going to have him testing. Meanwhile, everybody in my gym's getting popped, and I'm taking IVs. But anyway...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot Jay Leon.
Jay Leon, Jesse Vargas.
Jesse Vargas at the
gym?
gym?
Yeah. He was at the gym. Remember, he was their fighter way back in the day. He went from TMT to
Top Rank.
Yeah, and then left and went back to Heyman. And was it Badu Jack too?
Badu got popped?
Yeah, I think so. It was 3 of them. There was 3 of those guys that got popped.
Wow.
But it was everybody but you. I know, not your fault. But it's still the whole his greatness. Some of his greatness is built on the fact 2 things: the 2 wins against De La Hoya, and the fact that he hurt Floyd Mayweather in round 2 of their fight. That's literally what, when everybody talks about Shane Mosley, those are the fights they talk about. Besides his 2 losses. Vernon Forrest, no guy he could never beat. His whole career is based on that, and they just kind of gloss right over the cheating part. That's why that's how good of a cheater you are, when they just gloss over the fact that you cheated in winning those fights. Well, that's good. That's some good cheating.
And I'm sure some of you guys be like, what about...
Yeah, there will be something. You guys can let us know.
Yeah, cheater, like, okay, they have to have cheated. Like some people are just fuck ups that we just consider cheaters. Like some people just flat out fuck ups. You know.
And no, you can't say Amir Khan's wife because she cheated on him
I
with
didn't-
Anthony
I'm
Josh.
not-
We
I'm
can't
not
go
familiar.
there, people.
What?
I could see you dirty motherfuckers thinking about that shit too.
It wasn't
Don't
me.
go there.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
All right, we'll cut it off there. Look at an impromptu top 6 list, actually, for us. I just wanted to do it just because you kind of hinted at it as we closed out the last show that we did together a few weeks ago. So I was like, I'm going to just throw that one out there right now. And the only one that came into my mind, well, two, was Panama Lewis and Mike Tyson. Was the first 2 things I thought of. All right, so we'll cut it off there. Like we always do, you can follow the show at Cheap Seats Box on Twitter. Subscribe to the show on YouTube. And retweet the link out when I shoot it out there on Twitter. You can rate and review on iTunes. You can be the next unofficial sponsor. Email us or tweet us any of the cheating people that we missed, because we know we missed a lot. We just did it off the top of our head just real quick. Email us cheapseatsboxing@gmail.com. And any questions, comments, anything like that on all those topics, anything that we hit or missed, let us know. JP, is there anything else? Did we forget something? I don't know.
This is where the fighters fight and the fans commentate.
I didn't think so. And we do it just like you from the Cheap Seats, because we ain't buying no tickets, goddammit. Peace.
Again, I'll be the next heavyweight champion. Call me crazy, but no one can